So this is our Lego room before completely overhauling it, but thanks to a couple of IKEA orders and with the help of Brian Wong over at ModuSpace, this is our brand new Lego room. It took us over 3 months, which is a little bit longer than I wanted to, but it turned out incredibly well. And in this video, we're going to show you how we got here. So as of right now, we make our videos, we build our creations, we do all of this in our spare room, which is, as you can see, organized over here. We even have a couch that is a pull-out bed that we've had guests stay here before. We've got the cat's litter box, which we don't need to show them the cat's litter box, it's fine. But behind Julia, who's recording this, we've got closets, including our washer and dryer. It really is our laundry room / utility room, and I think it works great for Lego. But when we redesigned it a couple of years ago, we wanted it to be on budget and we wanted to have limited resources poured into it. Now we're going to step up. We've done well with the channel. We're going to add some IKEA tables and we're going to add some really cool display space thanks to ModuSpace. So this is going to be a really cool journey and we'll see how it unfolds. The first thing we wanted to do was clear out some of these bins and storage containers that we knew we were going to have to change. And that took actually quite a bit of work. Now you'll also notice we started filming this in August. It took us over 3 months because it's just a long, slow process when you have a lot of other things to do. But there we got our first table in. We're putting some of the larger bins back underneath of that table, and we're unpacking some of the new storage bins that we got. Now these storage bins are acrylic makeup containers. There are a lot of these available on Amazon, and they come in different sized drawers, which were great for putting our pieces in. We wanted to clear out as many of our pick-a-brick cups, square bins, little drawers, and even these old wipe containers from when our kids were babies that we used to store Lego pieces in, and just move all that stuff into a much more accessible spot. So that's what we set out doing here, and it took us a little bit of time to figure everything out and to, as Kiara said, finagle things into the right place. But it looks so much better, especially when you have transparent containers and you can see what is in each and every single one of them. You'll also notice that behind those, we have a brand new curtain. These are UV protection curtains that's going to prevent the sunlight from coming in and not yellow our bricks. This is a huge concern that I have, especially with white pieces, but not just those. We want to make sure that we protect our Lego. Now on the other side, we've got a bunch of black containers. So you'll notice on my right-hand side here, all these different bins, different sizes, different colors, different brands. Instead, we wanted to consolidate into one uniform look on this side. So we got a bunch of iris containers. The reason we got this company, not because we have any loyalty to them, but because it's black. And I wanted to go with a darker motif in our Lego room redesign. Now we were able to find these on sale. I think it was Office Depot or OfficeMax.com for about $20 to $22 for a pair of 4 drawers. So 8 drawers total, solid deal. I've actually seen these on sale at Target.com here in the United States for $17 for a pair, which is a really good deal. All right, we've been working for a while on this project. I want to show you some of the updates and some of the things we still have yet to do. We also have just a ton of old containers and bins right here that are no longer needed. So the kids are going to use some of these and we may give away some of the other ones. The last thing I want to show you is this is actually a dresser that we've been using as our table, and I'm actually going to empty this out right now and put up together another one of these tables. You can see it right there in the corner, and that'll be our new talking table, if you will, and building table and things like that. So I'll check back in just a little bit. All right, so we built this table back here. It's gonna be our new recording table. To do that, we have to get rid of this that we've been using, which is a massive dresser. We actually have somebody willing to buy it from us. So we are going to be taking this out and moving that up here. All right, so we have moved out the desk that we normally record at, in part because we are getting some new stuff tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to show you that, but now we're going to need to create some other room. You can see these bins behind me right there. Some of those I'm gonna have to part out into new storage containers, but some of these larger bins I might put down in the basement, and I have to create room down there. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. But first, just a quick look at the room so far. Lots of stuff that needs to be done, but no desk in the middle of the room. It's all cleared out. But again, these bins right here, I need to maybe find some space for putting them in the basement. All right, here is our modular city, which actually rests upon a pool table. You can kind of see the slabs of granite right there. And what we have, if I show you over here, lots of stuff, including all of these boxes. And I'm gonna get rid of some of these because I don't need all these boxes down here. I do want to keep some boxes, especially those that are modulars or maybe some Lord of the Rings Hobbit stuff, but I'm gonna get rid of a lot of those so that way under the city, I can put some of those storage bins and maybe even my instructions to clear off this shelf right here from our display, so that way we can put some more stuff on there. So all about saving space and trying to be efficient with what space we have. Clearing out these boxes was a trip down memory lane. Look at this old school Harry Potter from the kids collection. Also, a lot of these Winter Village sets. There's the original Winter Village post office. Man, that's incredible. We've got the Winter Village Bakery, back when Winter Village sets could be under $70. It was a fantastic time. I can even see the box from the town plan from 2007, 2008. There's an old Hogwarts Express box. That was one of our kids' sets. That's a lot of fun. Oh my goodness, just going back through all of these particular sets, it was incredible. Some of the old elf sets were really great. The kids really enjoyed those. And some of, man, look at the old castle. That was a really cool set. So many good sets in there. The Pharaoh's Quest, man, really good stuff. This is the container in question right here. I wanted to fit that under this pool table right here. You can see again the modular city. And underneath of it, I cleared out all these boxes, but unfortunately, there wasn't that much room. So what I did is I ended up taking a little cabinet, cubby hole, putting it there, my raised base plates, some sorted out Lego, as well as some boxes there. I kept a lot of our old school boxes, modulars and 1980s, 1990s boxes, just because I couldn't bear to get rid of those, but was not able to fit a lot of storage underneath here, which is unfortunate. All right, we got today a big delivery that I'm super excited about. This is from Brian Wong over at ModuSpace, and he sent us a bunch of display cabinets. We're gonna be putting these together and working on our custom display shelves in our Lego room. I'm just pumped up about this stuff, so we're gonna try to put it together, and we'll tell you more about it when we're done. Guys, we got a lot of shelves we're gonna be putting together. Now, I'm not gonna show you how we put together every single shelf, and we will be doing a full breakdown and review of ModuSpace cabinets, but I wanna give a shout out to Brian Wong over at ModuSpace. Thank you for sending these, and thank you for supporting small YouTube channels and not the big ones. We really appreciate it, and you know we will be giving honest feedback about these things. Now, as we put these together, it's important to give a couple of notes. Number one, plan ahead. I do make a mistake or two in how I put these together that you'll see later on. The second thing is make sure you look at the instructions first. I did that because Brian told us, like, hey, you want to check out the instructions. It's going to take a little bit of time to figure everything out, but once you do, it goes together pretty smoothly, and indeed that was the case. So there's wisdom coming from him there. Now you'll notice first off just how impressively big these are. These are the DF120s right here that I'm putting together. We got 6 of those, and they are absolutely massive. They're 4 feet long, over 2 feet high, with a 2-foot depth, and you fit a lot of stuff in there. Now, as I'm putting this together, you'll note I put a beach towel down on the floor because I didn't want to scratch the floor up, in part because the corners of these containers they're metal, and they will scratch the floor. Another important thing is you'll see with these plexiglass covers, those are fantastic, and they are protected by some thin paper, and they peel off pretty easily, and there's no residue left behind. Now, we were also privileged enough to get some risers that are able to stack the ModuSpace containers on top of them, which adds a couple inches of height and really helps, I think, pop this display quite a bit. We got 3 of those to put them on, so in all, our display is going to go from the edge of that heating vent all the way to the other side of the wall. You can see how we're putting some of this stuff together. The risers are in, and we've got the one ModuSpace DF120 built right there. Now, you'll notice I've got that in the middle. This is one of the mistakes that I made. I should have put it on the far right, but I wanted to make sure that I got everything set up first. And this is another tip when you're putting together any sort of shelving, is to figure out how you're going to put everything in there. I am using some LED strip lights that were sent to us. We wanted to see how those work, and I'm glad we started installing those every time we put a display container together. The next one I'm putting together is the DF130. This is a vertical one. Again, you can see that little film that was on top of the plexiglass acrylic shield. That, again, looks fantastic, peeled off pretty easily, but this is going to be a 4-foot tall display cabinet on our left-hand side, and you can see right there by that heating vent. So we actually are able to get, again, 10 feet of display cabinets from left to right with about 6 feet high, and that fits perfectly into our space. We did leave a little bit of gap between the back wall and this to plug in some extension cords and some power strips so that we could plug in the LED lighting. Now, I do recommend getting somebody to help you lift up these ModuSpace shelves. They're not particularly heavy. They are very, very sturdy though, and you just want to make sure you have room to work with, and if you're already in a cramped room, that can be a little bit difficult. But overall, it looks fantastic. I want to give a shout out to the black backgrounds. These look so sleek, and it's one big reason why I ended up choosing a darker motif on the left-hand side with our iris containers. Now, one of the more difficult things in putting this together for the DF130s is the shelving. So you can see Julia popping in here to help me out with that. We just wanted to hold it, make sure that we had it all in place. That was perhaps the most challenging part, but it only took a few minutes to get down. And so that's the worst you can say about putting something together. You're doing pretty good, especially something as high quality as this product right here. I wanted to make sure also that I leveled that off. So I used a level to make sure everything was flat. That way we didn't have anything leaning one way or another. But we got 2 shelves to put in this DF130 to split up that 4-foot gap. And it really helped, I think, fill in some of the smaller sets I wanted to put in our display, because it allows us to not have something super high. You can get a couple of different types of shelves to put inside of your ModuSpace containers. You can check those out over at the website. Speaking of their website, we do have an affiliate link down below. So if you want to get something from ModuSpace, you can click on that link and you can use our promo code Building Together, which we'll put on the screen here. That way you can get 20% off. Now, in the middle of November, we were able to start putting some test sets on our DF130. Definitely wanted to have a medieval theme on that, so Kiara's helping me set that up. And we're putting in some of the medieval town square stuff, as well as Snow White's cottage. I also wanted to test out to see how the Lion Knight's castle worked in there, and it looks absolutely fantastic with those LED lights. Now, the next one I'm going to show you, it's the last one I'm going to show you how we built, is the DF60. It's a smaller one. It's going to go on top of that tall DF130 there on the left-hand side. And I really enjoyed putting this one together, especially once I got a couple of them down. It didn't take all that long. Once I placed that DF60 on top there, you can see just how tall this is. There is a couple inches from the riser plus that, and so I wanted to use a little step ladder to make sure I could get everything, but really it's massive just how big this is, and you'll see it at the end result when we walk through some of that. But it is so good, and the fit was perfect, so we were really pleased with how things turned out. Now, we built some of our other DF120s and started stacking them. Like I said, they're not particularly heavy, but they are big and awkward, so you want to make sure you get some help with that if you can, lifting those up and stacking them. And just as you put those layers on, the size is so impressive, especially once you put the floors. And now those floors are like a plywood type floor covered with a black cloth that's almost a little bit like felt. I do roll them off using a lint roller, which is really great. They might get a couple of metal shavings on them or some dirt or dust as you put them together. And so I wanted to make sure I rolled those so that everything was ready to go when we were going to put them and put our Lego sets on those shelves. And one thing you'll notice is those plexiglass covers. They are so reflective. You can see our lights in the background. And so it's really kind of fun to see just how shiny those are. Now, here's where I made that mistake earlier. You can see I'm putting the new DF120s there on the far right-hand side. And it's a bit of a tight squeeze given all the stuff we had to move around in order to build and put everything in there. And so I end up getting trapped. Now, you'll notice that I'm stuck behind there. Kiara just starts laughing and she walks away. She abandoned me, just laughing, staring at me as I was trying to get over this. And I'm just not that flexible. And yeah, it didn't turn out so well. So I had to beg her to come back. which she did, and she helped me get out. I had to crawl underneath of that, and to be honest, I'm not as flexible as I used to be, which wasn't very flexible to begin with. So my kids really, really enjoyed seeing that part, just kind of me messing up a little bit. Just want to highlight yet again, make sure you plan out how you're going to put your stuff together, because you want to make sure you do it well with all the lighting that you want to include, all of the space constraints you might have, and how long it's going to take you to put everything together and get your display up and running. So those are some display tips for you when it comes to constructing your display shelves. I'm going to have more tips coming up in just a little bit as we stack our final DF120 on here. And gosh, that just looks incredible. I love how it all came together and goes right up against the wall. I did string a couple of lights together, and you've got some of the cords hanging down there. There are different options you can use for this. I wanted to not have all of them have individual lighting, so I ran a couple of strands of the power strips to the LED strips, but you can connect some of them together, and that can make your lines and cords more efficient, which I ended up doing for some of that. Now that we've got all of these awesome Lego shelves built, it's time for us to load them up with Lego sets. We've already done a couple behind me. You can see here, just as a tester, I'm really excited to be serious about this and see what our display is going to look like. And now it's time for some fun putting Lego sets there in the display shelves. Oh my gosh, this was so much fun. So we were able to get our Pirates Barracuda Bay in there, and the depth was not an issue. If you have billy shelves or other types of shelving, you might only have a base plate or base plate and a half depth. Plenty of depth with these ModuSpace shelves. You can kind of see even the medieval setup we have, we're able to go a little bit deep. Yeah, it does make the display a little busy, but I'm thinking about maybe getting some acrylic risers to put some of those sets on to make them pop. Now, check out Ninjago City. Guys, if you have any of the Ninjago City sets, you know how big they are. These fit in pretty well. I did have to take some of the antenna off of the top of Ninjago City and Ninjago City Gardens, but they fit in really, really well. And there's no problem with depth, barely any problem when it comes to height. You see, I had to remove the very top tower and then put it back in once I had the Ninjago City Gardens in there, but it's fine. A set like the Burrow fits in perfectly well. Even the Pirates of Barracuda Bay, these shelves handled it all, and they handled it really, really well. And then they look great before I put the LED lights on, but look at them now. They just look incredible and just really pops in the background. The Lion Knight's castle we added to there, and our own custom Lion's Gate castle that we've started building a long time ago. That project's been on hold. We might take it apart, although Autumn's not a fan of that, but I think it looks really good having that front and center, as well as Rivendell. Now, I will say we were not able to put Barad-dûr in there. I could put it in that DF130 there on the left if I really, really wanted to, but with Barad-dûr and Orthanc, I don't think both of them would fit there, so I have them in my basement display cases on the billy shelves down there. But these, I would say, very, very, very far superior to any sort of billy shelves or some of the stuff from IKEA, so it's something to contemplate. One thing I will note is we put some of the regular sets down there, like the old school Eldorado Fortress and the new one. They are a bit small relative to how much space you have in the ModuSpace. So you want to think about how you might maximize your space. You can get some shelves to split that in half if you want to, but sets like Home Alone look really good down there as well. So really pleased with how this turned out. Next, we're going to add some personality. One thing I love about Lego displays and seeing people's displays on YouTube is the little things that they put in there, and we're putting in some minifigs and some carts, and we've got this whole, imagine a medieval community where people are traveling to and from all these different buildings and castles and town squares and all of that fun stuff. So putting some character in there. We've got the, evil queen walking in up to the cottage, the dwarf's cottage there. We've got our trees from the medieval town square, the forest hideout. We've got people traveling from the medieval town square to the Lion's Gate castle. Just all those little things that I think make Lego so much fun, and we wanted to make sure that we included that in our display, even though you can't see it from a zoomed out perspective. But if somebody were to come over and they were to see our display, you can get a sense for all of the little fun things that we want to put in there, the little goats and the animals and all that fun stuff. So we really enjoyed putting that together for this display as well. And on November 24th, we're almost done, but we did get some more containers like those acrylic makeup containers and some Deflecto stackable storage containers. Those are the ones that are a little bit bigger on the left and right, the ones underneath Arwen and Aragorn. And so we really like those. I found a really good deal online for those as well, and those fit a lot of stuff in there. We also wanted to load up our Winter Village sets and take them to my parents' house because we every year do a huge Winter Village display that we're excited to do once again. All right, we are done with the entire project and I'm super excited because it's taken us a long time. In fact, it's taken us so long, I even got a haircut in the amount of time it took for us to do this renovation, but I'm gonna show you what we got. First, we did get 3 tables from IKEA. You can see off here, here, and over here. And so these were a replacement. We wanted to go with a darker motif. And you can tell over here, we have all these big storage bins right here. These bins are primarily for pieces that we have a lot of that aren't gonna fit into smaller containers. So we got these, really good deal. And I mentioned them early in the video, so I'll have that link down in the description below if you want to check those out. Now down here, we've got even more pieces that have yet to be sorted in this bin right here and this bin, and then we've got a lot of other larger pieces and instructions up here. Now here we have, I think, the crown jewel of our room, which is our ModuSpace display cabinets. We've got the Pirates of Barracuda Bay, the original Black Seas Barracuda, and all across this line right here, we have our Ninjago city layout, which is amazing. And at the far end, we do have the burrow, which doesn't fit quite as well, but that's because if we've got a little bit of room. If they do another Ninjago city style set, we can add that to the mix right there. We've got a little bit of room left. Now, coming on down to the next row, we've got some medieval stuff going on right down here. We've got Snow White's cottage. We've got the medieval town square, our modified doubled version. More of that down there with the medieval blacksmith, the forest hideout, and down at the very bottom we've got more stuff, including the old school medieval market village and our custom guarded in mock. Now coming over here, we've got the Lion Knight's castle, our own custom castle, which sits prominently behind us when we shoot videos, although this may be taken apart in the next year. Autumn is saying no right now, she's behind the camera. And then we've got Rivendell right here, and we don't have enough room height-wise to put Barad-dûr or Orthanc. Those are in our downstairs basement storage. Now down here, the very bottom row, we've got the OG Eldorado Fortress. We've got the new Eldorado Fortress. Our massive botanical gardens are 3X. Actually, it's like 2.5 copies of that set there. We've got Home Alone. And these sets here are probably gonna go down in the basement at some point on our IKEA Billy shelves as we get bigger sets that might fill those spots. One of the bigger set that we have this year, and it's our final set we'll show here in this display, is the Tournament Temple City from Ninjago, which I thought was an incredible build and really kind of a fun display piece to have there as well. So that might get moved somewhere else up here. Now we're going to take you over to this side of the room to show you a little bit about our storage here. But now over here, this is the smaller storage bins that we have. We've got a lot of transparent bins here. I really like those because you can see the pieces that are in there. And we've added quite a few storage bins to our room right now, but we're actually in a really good spot and we can add some more up here. We do have some of those old like tool nail screws and all that stuff bins here. And then at the top we have our botanical set. It's the only one that we have, but I do like this one. It's the sunflowers. And then we have our Lord of the Rings Brickheads collection. And Autumn, who's behind the camera, really wanted to show off our most recent edition, Legolas and Gimli. So as they come out with more of those, we will be adding them to our collection. So that is our brand new room. Autumn, why don't you go ahead and give them a sweep from this side over here all the way to this side over here. We'll do a little bit of a before and after, because this room looks a lot different, it's a lot better, and I'm super excited to be filming videos in here, building mocks in here, doing reviews, all that fun stuff here in this room. Check out the before photos, all the mess, and it's not just the mess and disorganization, but just all the different sizes and shapes and colors. You've got the wipes bins there in the back left corner, you've got that couch on the right, all these different types of containers. Just cleaning that up looks so much better. Check out those iris containers, are fantastic. I don't even have the lights on for the ModuSpace containers, and they look fantastic. Once you add those to the mix, it's just incredible. And all those sets really pop on those black backgrounds and the black flooring. It's just incredible. So I love how that turned out. Even here on the right-hand side, we've got more of the transparent containers. Looks fantastic compared to what it was in the past, and I can see all those pieces and nothing in just random bins. Like I said, a little bit more to do perhaps, but overall a night and day difference. Thanks for watching. Always remember to keep building together.